What's up, everyone? Welcome back, guys. I'd like to start it off by giving a shout out to Best Gamer Ali, since I'm making another reaction video for the absolutely insane update on Dying Light 2. And I'm looking forward to Dying Light, getting good. Hopefully they can make, Dying Light 2 great again. We'll see, guys. So let's get into it and let's see what this update is all about.
Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, and today we're back with another Dying Light 2 video. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys some insane news about the upcoming updates and the future DLC of Dying Light 2. Also, thanks to TYMON for providing us this info during the Q&A session they did yesterday for the Dying Light community. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel to stay updated with everything Dying Light related. Now, starting with the first question that was asked to TYMON. Will there be new types of zombies in the DLC, like the freaks of nature? To which TYMON replied saying, yes, that's absolutely the plan. We will have completely new types of infected plus variations of some of the ones you already love. We want both these new guys and the mutations to fully support our recent improvements to the damage system. Expect them to be damaged in more exciting, gory ways.
Alright, so will there be new zombie types? Hopefully, yes. Okay. I mean, he said there's going to be new types and new variants for existing types. I wonder how many are they going to have? And are they going to be restricted and limited to the DLC? Will you find those new zombies roaming around in Old Villador and in the base game? These new mutations and new, completely new type of infected enemies. Or is it going to be the Dying Light, Bloody Ties, where the new infected can only be seen and fought and experienced in that DLC, in that arena, which is, personally, I'm sorry, but I think was a very dumb idea, and they should have immediately fixed it, which they didn't. Kind of tells you that they don't regret it, or maybe they don't agree with us. I don't know. Does anyone else think that the zombies, the new types of infected, what was he called? The King Demolisher, whatever it was, should be roaming around in Old Villador. A few of them at least. And all the rest, all the new ones, should be somewhere in the base game as well. But they're not. I wonder why.
So TYMON just confirmed that we indeed will be getting some new zombie types in the DLC 2, plus new mutations for the already existing zombies. Which honestly is a good thing, because Dying Light 2 surely needs more zombies. Now moving on to the next question, will you bring some of the feature from the E3 showcases and early gameplay footages through the DLC? To which TYMON replied by saying, we are planning to add some cool things in the newest update already. For example, you'll be able to slide down the billboard using a knife, something you guys really wanted to have. So looking at our plans for the second half of the year, I don't think so we'll actually have that much of E3 content to add in the DLC 2, because lots of it will be in the game already.
Alright, billboard. Look, it's a cool looking, little animation using your knife, as you go, as you go down the billboard, and it's like, reducing your fall speed and all that, but how often are you going to use it? How vital is it to the game's overall, overall stability? Like, is this going to make the game better and more stable in any form or way? I mean, hey, I do not mind it being added. I just would have rather seen probably another new zombie instead of this. Like, if they were going to add 3 new zombies, I would have rather have 4 new zombies. But this is not a bad thing. It's just, how many billboards do we have? I know there are some across the city, but scattered all over, but not as many as you think. And there are so many different places you can land. If you're gonna go down, if you're gonna get use your knife to go down that billboard, and then where are you gonna land exactly? Like all the way to the ground? Like, you could have just landed on the ground. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just a cool thing that, it makes you look cool. But it's kind of like gimmicky to an extent. But this is my personal opinion, guys. I like it, but I think there more important things that they should be focusing on.
So what Timon is saying here is we're not going to have much of E3 content added to the DLC 2 because by the time it's out, a lot of the E3 content will already be in the base game, including this billboard slide down using a knife skill that was removed from the game. So it's officially coming back. Now moving on to the next question, will there be a Fury or Be the Zombie mode? To which Timon replied saying if the question is about Be the Zombie, meaning a PvP mode, this is something that we don't plan to have in the DLC as this time. Now if we are talking about the Fury as Aiden infected skills, I can say that we're working on some options here, and I think you will like it.
Alright, Be the Zombie is a lot more important than Fury mode. Unfortunately, we're not going to be getting the more important thing, the thing that we've been begging for probably for a lot longer than Fury mode. Fury mode is cool, but like to me, it is again something unnecessary. I don't think it's going to make the game that much better. It's just a tiny little addition that is going to slightly improve it, maybe. Some people might not even like it. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I didn't really like it that much in Dead Island. Like, I used it here and there, but, like, the concept of it, you can control your mutation and stuff, makes it, a little bit unbelievable and takes it out of the realm of being realistic. I know it's a video game, it's not supposed to be blah blah blah, trust me, but still, takes away the serious tone, I feel like. You're a human, you should be fighting zombies, you do not want to get infected, you do not want to be a zombie, you do not wanna be a new kind of, I don't know, creature or like half man, half zombie, which is pretty much what they're trying to do here. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't have sentient zombies. That's something else. I wonder if they're going to discuss that. And I wonder if that's going to be one of the zombies they're going to be introducing in the DLC. I highly doubt it. But hey, time will tell.
So guys, we might see the return of Fury mode in the future update. Now, moving on to the next question. Will there be modern guns or others in the DLC? To which Timon replied saying, of course we'll add some new weapons. And by saying that, I don't mean new machetes and axes, but also completely new weapon types. We also plan to take weapon crafting further, as some of those weapons will get the ability to be upgraded.
The ability to be upgraded to artifact, right? Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't even know what they're talking about anymore. I'm afraid. I actually am feeling fear. Because I don't know what they're going to do. They said new, okay, weapons. Alright, we know they're going to introduce guns. I don't know what type of guns, but we're going to find out. But the new weapon blueprints and all that, and then like having weapons being upgradable, like I don't know what they mean by that. Hopefully they introduce a lot of new weapon mod blueprints so we can add new things to our weapons instead of just what we've been using. And hell, everybody has been using flame and spark anyways, let's be honest. A few people experimented with a few other things and realized maybe frost was also good against volatiles, but that's about it.
So yeah, new weapons are obviously going to be in the DLC 2, plus guns that were confirmed months ago. And finally, it looks like we're going to get some new modification for the new weapon types in the game. Now, moving on to the next question. Will Kyle Crane return in DLC 2? Oh boy, what a question. So Timon replied to this question by saying, we know that our community really loves Kyle Crane and we have some surprises for you. But right now, we don't want to reveal anything just yet. Come on, answering this question will spoil most of the fun, right?
I don't know, because to me, I don't care about Kyle Crane returning, because the story is not that great in the first one or the second one. Who cares about a returning character who wasn't even really memorable to begin with? Like, I personally don't really care. Like, I care about the gameplay and the types of infected, the combat, he said they're going to add new weapon mods, which is what I was wondering. I was kind of actually assuming they were going to, but I was actually wondering what kind are they going to add? Is it going to be better than what we already have? Or is it going to be like the new weapon blueprints that they just recently added that were pretty much, worse than what was already in the base game and like made them very pointless? I don't know, guys, but we'll see.
Oh, and by the way, they have some few more similar questions, so I'm gonna read all of them together. Like somebody asked about the returning Dying Light 1 characters, to which TYMON gave this really sarcastic reply saying, I could tell you, but then I will have to send Men in Black to your location to erase your memory, LOL. Then somebody asked if HAKON or LAWAN will return in DLC 2, to which TYMON replied saying, the return of some of the characters from the base game is planned, but we don't want to reveal all the details yet. The new DLC story will nicely tie some loose ends, and I just can't tell you right now which ones. I mean, it's obvious they're not gonna spoil this big surprise by revealing it early, so I'm not gonna read all of those questions further, which basically means that I will only read questions that have proper answers. Now, moving on to the next question, will there be vehicles or animals you can mount? To which TYMON replied saying, we're not ruling it out. Currently, we're exploring some options and we'll see what we can do. Keep your fingers crossed, that's the most I can say right now. So it's obvious, it's probably in a testing phase, so it's not confirmed to be coming back anytime soon or ever.
Alright, vehicles actually is something that I was wondering about as well for the longest time. I miss the buggy. I miss upgrading it and being able to, use it to chase down or run down zombies and run away from them, and it was really fun. It was really nice. And like, if you were in, you would fight volatiles close to it, at least I would, and if I run out of UV flashlight or whatever it is, I would get in and use the car's UV flash or whatever it was. I had like a little tactic that I would use to, like, if I wanted to be extra safe or whatever. It was fun. It was really fun, but I don't know how they're gonna do it now. And like, is it gonna be like before where the buggy was only usable in the DLC? Now I know it didn't make sense to have the buggy usable in the base game because of the way, the city was structured and all that. But if they make it like a dirt bike, then maybe we can still have it in the city, and it wouldn't be tied to the DLC only. But I'm not sure. We're gonna have to wait.
Now, moving on to the next question. Will the crossplay be coming to Dying Light 2? This is actually a good question, and TYMON replied to it by saying, as you know, we already have cross-gen in our game, and crossplay is a logical extension of that. It is definitely in our scope, and we'll try to implement it as soon as possible, hopefully before DLC 2 releases. We really wanted to have features like this, it's just sometimes it takes a bit more time to overcome the technical challenges. So
there's nothing, really to say here. It's kind of obvious. We all want crossplay and all that. So on cross-gen, I want to be able to play on the PS5 with my friends on PC or whatever console they're on. I don't want them to only only PS players can play together and only whatever can play together. It's something very important, I believe, and it would make the community become a lot closer to each other. But like they said, it might take a while to to do that, so we're gonna have to be patient, but hopefully they'll get it done sooner rather than later.
Guys, crossplay would officially come out before the DLC 2 comes out if everything goes right. That means hopefully later this year or early 2024. Now, moving on to our next question. Will there be seasons mechanic? Because I want to see World of Dying Light in winter snow. TYMON replied by saying when it comes to season themselves, we're not planning any changes. However, we're playing with some color grading, so the newest update is set to include a HAKON sunset color grading option, and I think you will love it.
Sunset color grading, yeah, I would rather go with seasons or more weather effects than sunset. I don't know. I mean, I personally don't care about that, but maybe someone else does.
So guys, we have another confirmation that this month with the new parkour flow update, we'll also be getting a new HAKON sunset color grading option. Now moving on to the next question. Will the max level be raised due to the amount of new content being added? TYMON said sure, it's an expansion of the main game, so yes, it's planned. Which means in the future we'll have more levels or different kinds of reputation ranks like we had in the following DLC.
Okay. I didn't max level yet, holy crap, but hey, this DLC is not coming out till probably next year, because I heard they postponed it. It was supposed to be November, then got postponed, so it's probably going to be early next year, the first 3 months, I'm guessing, first 3-4 months, first quarter, probably of next year. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many levels are they going to add, how many levels will they be adding? I think it's level right now. The legend leveling is up to 250. So are they gonna add more legend levels? Are we gonna get new abilities so we can invest our points in, or are they just gonna like allow you to invest more points into the existing abilities or the existing, talents? To pretty much, deal extra damage with one-handers. Let's say right now it maxes out at 100%. So when the DLC comes out and they increase the levels, are they gonna allow us to max, to max that out again and make it reach maybe 150% damage instead of, have it capped out at 100%? Or are they just gonna introduce new abilities and the ones that we already have are maxed out, period? You can't really do anything to them. Or they're just gonna have a whole new skill tree, kind of like what happens after you reach level 9 and you're done with that. Then you get a new skill tree, which is the legend level skill tree. That's what I call it, at least. And once you max that out, maybe you'll get a new one again in the DLC. So, like, there are so many ways to go on about it. I have no idea which one they are thinking of, though. We're gonna have to see when the time comes.
Next, will the DLC be made by the same team, director, writer, etc.? TYMON replied by saying, huge part of the gameplay team is the same, but we're reaching out to some of the new people. I'm especially excited about some of the new writers we have on the project. I hope you'll appreciate the full announcement.
Alright. I don't know if I care that much about this. New writers doesn't necessarily mean better writers, but we're gonna have to wait for the DLC.
Okay, this sounds interesting because now we have new writers who would be working on the next DLC. That's a really good decision because Dying Light's story has never been that great, and knowing how story focused the next DLC will be, I'm glad for this change. Next, will it be possible to start DLC 2 from a new save like how you could with the following DLC? TYMON said yes, you'll be able to play DLC 2 without playing the base game. Next, are you planning more collabs with the other games? Not only outfits in Dying Light 2, but Dying Light characters appearing in other games? TYMON said absolutely. We already teased our collaboration with The Walking Dead, so stay tuned for the official announcement. And with that, we also have a lot of surprises for our community, as The Walking Dead is just the beginning.
Alright, the collaboration with The Walking Dead seems interesting. I don't know what they're going to be adding, but I think they heard like, what's his name? Nat? Whatever. What was his name? The guy with the baseball bat who went around smacking people with a barbed baseball bat of his. Like, we're gonna get that. I don't know. Like, are we gonna get a blueprint of it, or we're just gonna get like a maxed out legendary version of it? To me, like, personally, it doesn't matter that much, but it was just kind of curious.
Next, with the community feedback from the main game and the DLC one, on what gameplay elements is your main focus now? Are you experimenting more with the horror or survival mechanics now that the story is set outside the safety of the city? TYMON replied by saying more horror, which means more scary nights and roaming volatiles. We will be introducing these elements in our upcoming update in a few weeks. So friendly advice from me, play the game as much as you can right now, because very soon it will change a lot. And I think you will be surprised.
Alright, more horror. Means carrier knights and roaming volatiles. What is this carrier knight? Wow, does the night last longer? Is that what's scary about it? Is the night darker? Other than the roaming volatiles, we get that point. Well, what else are there gonna be? Are you gonna throw in more banshees and maybe suiciders? Maybe I don't know, some demolishers, something? Are you going to introduce any new zombies? Because honestly, if they don't introduce new zombies, I don't know how it's going to ever get scarier unless like they overpower the volatiles, the roaming ones, and make them like just stronger than the current ones that we have. And maybe we'll see. Time is ticking.
Next, will the DLC feature more traditional RPG elements? TYMON replied saying, well, DLC 2 is a new adventure set in a brand new location, so there's definitely going to be a story to it. We can actually hint that it's going to be very focused on the infected. Now that, my friends, is actually a good thing. Next, will there be any additions to armor, be that new?
Alright. There's going to be focus on the infected. That's all I had to hear. And now I'm just going to wait for the DLC, and we're gonna see if they truly will focus on the infected, or was this just to get us to buy the DLC? I mean, hey, they said the Bloody Ties was gonna be great and scary, and the zombies are just gonna smash your freaking brains out and shit. Or something along those lines. And guess what? Guess what, guys? Turned out to be a crappy DLC. So, let's hope they don't repeat the same mistake.
Class or even the new edition of legendary tier armor. Currently only one mask is legendary. TYMON said yes, there will be a diverse range of new armor, new weapons and cosmetics added. Legendary tier can happen even prior to the DLC to release.
Alright, we're gonna get legendary gear prior to the DLC to release. That's good news. I mean, it might get us back to, farming again for new gear. However, are we gonna let the zombies, the tyrants, for example, drop loot? Have 100% chance to drop like a legendary item, a legendary anything. Now if you're gonna have legendary gear, then we want legendary gear and weapons to drop from tyrants, guaranteed drop. But is that going to happen? I don't think they're even going to discuss it. I'm not sure, but we'll see soon.
Next, is the DLC to the end of the franchise or is there anything else planned? TYMON said we're planning to at least support the game for 5 years for Dying Light 2, so it's definitely not the end for us.
Okay, the fact that they asked this question, it shows that people have little hope in the game, like, oh god, is this the final, this is it? I mean, look, you can't blame them because if you think about it, the following was the only real DLC to me, as an expansion. Let's not call it DLC, it's an expansion. DLCs are like, whatever the other things. They had the survival mode, I believe I never played that. Beat the Zombie, definitely the best DLC. But the following to me was not just any DLC, it was an expansion. It was big, it introduced a lot of new things, it expanded on the story, on the game mechanics. It was just like a proper expansion. So, is this second DLC right now going to be like the following? Is that a question they're going to ask? Is it going to be as big as the following? As impactful as it? Or is it going to be something like, it's not going to be like Bloody Ties. Bloody Ties was crappy. So if it is something as big as the following, then it probably will be the only one. Because think about it, guys. It's been like 2 years. It's going to be over 2 years before they release that. Or around 2 years mark before they release their first big DLC. We don't even know how big it is. So we're going to have to wait and see. But anyways, let's get back to it, guys.
Next, will there be grappling hook skins in the next DLC? TYMON said we have it on the list and it's actually quite doable. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we allocate our resources correctly. In other words, it will happen, but not guarantees when exactly. Next, will this next...
Alright, I don't really care about that too much, but so I'm not gonna waste too much time on it. We're just gonna move on.
DLC have survival elements. Will a survival mode ever be added to the game? Will we have any actual way to turn into a zombie when we want, like in Dead Island 2? Will a new Be the Zombie mode ever come to Dying Light 2? TYMON replied saying for the DLC 2, no, there are no concrete plans to introduce it in the package. This is the narrative DLC, so we're focusing on the story. On the other hand, survival mode is a personal dream of mine, so there's a chunky chance that it will happen. But I think it will make more sense as an addition to the main game, not just the DLC.
Okay, I want to know, is the addition to the DLC gonna have, so is Be the Zombies a different thing, or what's going on here? Because he didn't mention Be the Zombies, the survival mode, which is something that he wanted to work on forever or whatever. But thing is, what is survival mode, and is Be the Zombie even considered the survival mode? Because I don't think he even said anything about Be the Zombie.
Okay, so I'm really excited for this one because I actually had a plan to release a video on this topic today, but change of plans. So you're gonna find out more about this survival mode in the future video after this. But with all honesty, I'm happy that even TYMON Smekdala is excited as I am for the survival mode in Dying Light 2. Next question, how big is the scope for DLC 2? By the fact that you delayed it for so long, you should have plenty of new content and stuff you want. Are you willing to share some stuff about the scope? TYMON replies saying we usually over deliver on the game time. So I'll try to be careful here and say you can expect the story to last about 10 plus hours. Now 10 plus hours won't seem big enough, but remember the following DLC was a huge game, but the story part was way too small and it could be completed in like 3 hours or 5 hours. Unless you prefer taking your time, because then it will take you days. Next question.
Yeah, okay, so the second part of the DLC, the following, I don't know how long it took. I'm trying to remember. I mean, it's been such a long time, guys. But 10 hour, I mean, if it's just you trying to rush through the campaign mode, the story mode only, will take you 10 hours, and that's okay. But like, if it's like everything, all the side quests and all the major events take you 10 hours, and then maybe if you want to go collect all of these extra little things, you know, to like for your trophies and all that, then maybe it'll take longer, and that's not really okay. I mean, should be campaign mode only. That's you rushing through the campaign mode takes 10 hours, then that would be reasonable for making us wait this long. Because they didn't do anything great in between. That's the problem.
And will we be getting a new roadmap that includes an updated time frame for the DLC too? TYMON said that the next pit stop is the Parkour Night update. I wonder if you could guess the name we have for it. So that will happen within the next few weeks, and we plan to have a big stream supporting the release where we will release a little bit more info about the upcoming plans.
Okay, parkour. I mean, it does need some love. I care about the zombies and the combat more than the parkour, but I do care about the parkour as well, just not as much as the, you know, the other two. And we're gonna have to, again, we have no option except to be patient.
Next question, are there any planned content on the new DLC that has any diving or generally going underwater? TYMON said, looky, someone was following the YouTube leaks, I see. Well, currently we're not focusing on developing underwater activities any further that you can see in the base game. Next, will this new DLC feature a sort of base building mechanic allowing you to create safe houses and buildings, or you choosing and fortifying them since there are most likely not going to be any more settlements? TYMON said such approach wouldn't fit the narrative of the DLC too, which I assume Aiden will move through the map a lot. Plus, he is not really feeling at home in this new location. But
I mean, that kind of makes sense. I don't think a base building mechanic is really needed here. I think that's like, if you want to play a game like that, you probably should go play State of Decay and stuff like that. I mean, those could be great. State of Decay 3. We don't know much about it. We're going to see what happens soon enough. But, I mean, that's a game that would have building mechanics in it, zombies, and more of a survival kind of game than this one. This is more like action-packed, you know, slash and hack and all that kind of zombie game. But, I mean, time will tell.
if you're interested in customization and building your own world in the game, then why not try our developer tools? You can use them to create your own map. We do have high hopes for the community created maps. Soon you will see how serious we are about this. Next, will there be any wildlife or any zombified goats or animals that we might see or interact with? TYMON said we don't have any plan to introduce real life animals in DLC 2 as the focus is zombies. I mean, the guy was talking about the zombified animals, but I guess TYMON missed that part.
Alright, yes, the focus is good. Zombies. I don't care, Jan. Like, if they're gonna have birds or whatever flying around, that's clearly not important. But zombified animals, like the guy mentioned, is clearly very interesting and would be, you know, would play, I think, a big role in making the game scarier. Imagine like having those crazy dogs from Resident Evil 4 Remake, something similar to them chasing you down. They're hard to hit, hard to, you know, they dodge a lot, they move around really fast, and maybe, you know, they're the new night threat. And guess what? Maybe they're the new Volatile's companion. You know, you see a Volatile roaming around with his dog, kind of like telling the dog to attack you as he chases you down, and they both start to chase you down. Something like that would add a lot of excitement to the game. It would make it a lot, definitely a lot scarier and more interesting, and it would be a new type of zombie for sure. A dog, zombie dog, and depending on the mechanics that they give it, can be something very different, very new, and very scary. But are they going to do that? I'm not sure.
Anyways, next question, is the DLC 2 story going to affect the main game story, or will it be a standalone story? TYMON said that the story takes place after the end of Dying Light 2. It starts right where Aiden's arc stopped in the main game and just takes the character to completely new places. In a way, it's justified to say it's a standalone as you can enjoy it separately from the main game. But of course, if you're a Dying Light 2 veteran, then this will really allow you to complete the story of Aiden Caldwell in a big way. Next, will DLC 2 be a new entirely place like Bloody Ties or an expansion to the current world space? Like for example, example, Old Villador and Central Loop, they are in one world space and you can go through one to another if you have proper skills and Night Runner tools. TYMON said the map is completely new, it's a brand new location unexplored by the players. This is clear in all of the feedback that we have received about the game. Dying Light players want new atmospheric places to discover and explore, and I think this DLC will bring some of the coolest location we ever did.
So we're not gonna, like, we can't just like travel back and forth easily between the current city and the new location and Old Villador. Again, like I'm just gonna be patient. I'm not gonna say that much more. I feel like we have to wait and see what they're gonna do for most of this. We can make, you know, we can speculate all we want, and you know, some things, you know, some of our predictions could be right, some could be wrong, but in all honesty, time is the only thing that is going to show us what's gonna, you know, the truth, pretty much.
So guys, that was all the question asked during the Q&A session. There are a few more questions that I have left on purpose because there was no proper reply or any info to them. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the future Dying Light 2. Do you like what you just heard, or you were expecting something else? Let me know in the comments, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Till then, stay safe and stay human.
Well guys, same thing here. I left some things, you know, I stayed quiet for some things, just a few, because like I feel like I either didn't really feel like they had a big impact on the, you know, the overall health of the game, and just to ensure how successful the game will be in the future. I feel like they're just little tiny additions that are there to satisfy maybe a minority of the player base, when there are like a lot more major things that they need to be focused on. Now, I can't say anything else. All I can do is just patiently wait until the DLC releases, until the updates are released, and I'll be making content for that whenever those things happen. But for now, it seems like the future is bright. But as always, you should, you know, expect the worst while hoping for the best. Hope for the best, but expect the worst. We'll see. I mean, they promised us some things with DLC 2. I mean, the first DLC as well. And it didn't turn out to be as expected. So maybe this is going to be the same thing. Anyways, everyone, as always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I can't wait to see you all guys in the next one. Till then, have a wonderful day. And I'll catch you all next time. Take care, y'all, and peace.